The reality TV show Cake Boss quickly amassed millions of viewers after elevating baking to an art form. The show ran for 9 seasons and averaged over 2 million viewers every season. It was hosted by Buddy Valastro and his team at Carlo's Bakery. The actors and crew of the show, as well as the Hoboken, New Jersey bakery where the series is shot, became household names as a result of this publicity. Cake Boss was able to decline due to the overwhelming amount of obstacles and issues. In this article, we will go into the events that caused the Cake Boss to rise and fall. Cake Boss, whose real name is Buddy Valastro, is the driving force behind the success of the show. He honed his skills in cake creation to the point that he could open his own bakery, Carlo's Bakery. His and his team's years of hard work in elevating their bakery to the top made the program feasible. Lots of specialty cakes, wedding cakes, and delicious Italian pastries were baked on the show. Cake Boss, Next Great Baker, and Baking with the Cake Boss are just a few of Buddy's numerous successful television shows and books that sprang from his immensely popular cake design show. Who, though, was this man? March 3, 1977 was the birth date of Bartolo Buddy Valastro Jr. He spent his childhood in both Hoboken and Little Ferry. N.J. Mary Tobito, his mother, and Buddy S.R. were both born in Italy. However, Mary's parents relocated to New Jersey when she was a child. The 4 elder sisters of Buddy were Grace, Mary, Madalena, and Lisa. Although he studied baking at Bergen County Technical High School, he attended Ridgefield Park High School. When he was in school, he struggled in art class and didn't think much of his artistic abilities. He began assisting his dad in the family bakery when he was 11 years old. Tragically, Buddy's dad lost his battle with lung cancer at the young age of 54, barely 3 months after being diagnosed. Buddy had only recently turned 17 years old. After getting a job washing dishes at Carlo's Bakery, he quickly realized he had a gift for baking. His time there confirmed what he had suspected all along: he had a natural talent for baking. It didn't take long for him to sense the attraction and realize he belonged at the bakery. After Buddy's father died in 1994, he assumed control of the bakery. He left school to help run his father's bakery, which he took over after his father passed away. It was unexpected for him to have to take charge so quickly. His eldest son, Junior, is the first Buddy Valastro to graduate from high school, which he proudly shared in an episode of Cake Dynasty. At first, Buddy doubted his abilities as a baker and cake decorator when he was younger. Not only did he lose his greatest advocate and best friend with his father's death, but he also lost some of the secret recipes from Carlo's Bakery. Regardless, Buddy needed to take charge and become the new boss of the cake. Wearing his father's St. Anthony medallion daily, he relied on his memory and wore it as a support system. He was out to become famous for the bakery his late dad owned. At first, the bakery had a hard time. After his dad passed away, they actually had a hard time making the dough for their renowned lobster tails. Everything changed, though, when Buddy's late father showed him the ropes, as Buddy tells it. Buddy gave it a go the following day and got the dough just right. Because of this, he gained confidence and felt his father's love and support. But he had to be a savvy businessman and come up with ideas to set Carlo's Bakery apart from the competition if he wanted to see his dad's bakery succeed. It was then that he decided to unleash his imagination and bake some truly remarkable cakes. Because of this, Carlo's Bakery began to specialize in designer cakes. Buddy was an innovator in the world of cake decorating. He experimented with red velvet cake in his trademark flower cupcake and became a master with fondant frosting. Famous people who ate his cakes included Jennifer Lopez and Oprah Winfrey. For his wife Lisa's 30th birthday, he baked a life-size cake, and for another occasion, he constructed an elaborate replica of St. Louis. He also produced a massive edible NASCAR race car cake. The family of 4, Sophia, Buddy III, Marco, and Carlo, lived in New Jersey after Buddy and Lisa tied the knot in 2001. And bridal magazines frequently featured Buddy's cakes. He appeared on the 2004 Food Network Challenge as a result of this. Buddy had a natural flair for television, was never nervous, and could make rapid, funny comments. Following 3 unsuccessful attempts at each of the 4 tasks, he triumphed in Battle of the Brides and took home a hefty $10,000 check, which he now keeps on display in his office. His journey on television would continue from here. In 2009, he proposed a reality show on TLC about his family's work at Carlo's Bakery, and the network accepted. The first episode took place at Carlo's Hoboken Bakery. The show chronicled the family's particular cake-making process and the dynamics between the bakery's staff and members of the family. More people came to Hoboken to visit the bakery after seeing the show. Lines of people stretching out in all directions to get inside attest to its popularity. A street junction in Hoboken was even named after the bakery in 2010. Carlo's Bakery expanded to numerous other places. The bakeries expanded to other cities such as Las Vegas, New York City, and others. Although the main office remained in Hoboken near Jersey City. Season 1 averaged 2.3 million views, while Season 2 drew in an additional 1.8 million. One of Buddy's many accomplishments was penning the book Cake Boss. Based on the show, Mia Familia has stories and recipes. Along with recipes, it tells the tale of his family's bakery. A cookbook compiling his finest recipes and decorating tricks, Baking with the Cake Boss, was his second book. The popularity of the show spawned a similar competition series, Next Great Baker, in which contestants vie for cash prizes and the opportunity to work for Carlo's Bakery. Buddy shared family recipes and hosted distinguished guests on another show called Kitchen Boss. Just like in Kitchen Nightmares, he visited a New York bakery named Friendly Bake Shop to offer his support in order to spice up his show. Eventually, TLC turned the concept into the show Buddy's Bakery Rescue. But they were still making money off of their flagship show. They sold Cake Boss branded baking pans and decorating accessories. However, Buddy received more than that for his efforts on the show. In 2013, he launched an Italian eatery in Sin City named Buddy V's Ristorante. He grew his restaurant empire in the city with establishments such as Buddy's Jersey Eats and Pizza Cake at Harrah's. In 2013, he was an ardent supporter and campaign manager for the re-election of Governor Chris Christie. In 2014, he even baked the birthday cake for Christie. In the same year, Buddy and his family relocated to Montville, another town in New Jersey. In addition, in June of 2014, he established Buddy V's Events, a catering and event organizing business. The Saint. Rocco Italian-American Society presented him with the Man of the Year Award in 2015 in recognition of his philanthropic efforts, which included backing organizations such as the Samuel Waxman Cancer Research Foundation and the Make-A-Wish Foundation. For their 2016 Rethink Sweet campaign, Buddy and Whole Earth Sweetener Company promoted innovative sugar substitutes. Additionally, he backed Christie's presidential campaign in 2016. He quickly became known for his significant impact on Hoboken. He was even recognized as one of Hudson County's most important citizens. Also in 2017, he became a member of the New Jersey Hall of Fame. He launched a new range of Italian-inspired pet treats in 2018 in partnership with the Pound Bakery. On the other hand, he launched Buddy Valastro Foods, a line of cookies and fondant. Additionally, in 2019, he introduced cake ATMs in Toronto and Las Vegas, which sell portions of cake through vending machines distributed around the United States and Canada. He has been fortunate to have his wife Lisa at his side throughout his life, and they have been happily married since 2001. For Buddy and Cake Boss, though, not everything was peachy. Before and after he became famous, he had to cope with personal problems and bad things that happened to him. A court injunction was issued in 2010 by Cedar Park, Texas's Masters Software Inc. to prevent TLC from airing Buddy's show under the Cake Boss brand. Using the domain name cakeboss.com from 2006, the company has been providing Cake Boss, a tool for managing bakeries, since 2007. Discovery Communications, they said, was infringing on their trademark and confusing both consumers and businesses. Although the specifics of the settlement were kept under wraps, Masters Software and Discovery Communications reached an agreement to resolve the matter in October 2010. Their lawyers stated at the time that the parties had mutually agreed to resolve the matter amicably while maintaining the confidentiality of the terms of the settlement. However, that was not the sole legal concern that arose in 2010. After being arrested in August of that year for alleged sexual assault, Remigio Remy Gonzalez, Buddy's younger sister and former left-hand man, left the program. Buddy was not pleased about how this made Cake Boss feel about himself. An immediate family member's possible incarceration was a significant burden for the family to bear. Remy pled guilty to sexually abusing a 13-year-old girl 2 years later, and he was sentenced to 9 years in state prison. After his release, he was supposed to be sent back to Mexico, his home country. Nonetheless, Buddy and another relative had a falling out in 2012. His family's reputation for being vocal was already well known to his fans. Another troublemaker with an outgoing personality was Buddy's sister, Mary. This led Buddy to the conclusion that he needed to have an honest conversation with her. As a result, things got heated, and Buddy made it plain that Mary would never be able to run Carlos Bakery without him. There was a palpable void in the bakery after Mary left, yet her departure provided a sense of tranquility. The arrest for drunk driving was a major setback for Buddy's career. Thankfully, he was pulled over for reckless driving and not for endangering anyone's safety. Just after 1 in the morning, when Buddy, who was 37 years old at the time, was driving north on 10th Avenue, the police pulled him over. He was pulled over after the police saw his 2014 Chevrolet Corvette swerving between traffic lanes. Buddy had a flush complexion, watery, bloodshot eyes, and a strong odor of alcohol, according to the police. He failed a sobriety test upon exiting the vehicle because he felt wobbly. In light of this, he was indicted for DUI and driving while impaired. "You can't arrest me, I'm the Cake Boss," he allegedly told the cops. He later expressed regret for his behavior, admitting that he had drank before getting behind the wheel and pled guilty to drunk driving. In 2014, Buddy encountered a unique public safety issue when his 32-foot Boston whaler became disoriented in dense fog in New York Harbor. His boat was rescued and transported to Jersey City with the assistance of fire and police harbor personnel. In the busy shipping area of Ambrose Channel, the boat became disoriented in the heavy fog and was in danger of colliding with huge commercial ships. It was necessary to save Buddy, his wife, 2 additional couples, and 9 small children. The good news is that nobody died. However, the Cake Boss would experience a devastating setback 3 years down the road. After a courageous fight with amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, ALS, often known as Lou Gehrig's illness, Buddy's mom, Mary Valastro, passed away on June 22, 2017. In 2012, after Mary's diagnosis, she departed from the show. The same year, Buddy established the Mama Mary Foundation to commemorate her. Buddy had a hard time returning to the famed bakery in Hoboken, New Jersey when she died away. The result was a 2-year hiatus for the program. Because Hoboken reminds him so much of his mother, Buddy hasn't been back since she died away. He went on to say that his mom's favorite spot was the bakery. Mary had trouble with her motor abilities in the year leading up to her death, so she used a wheelchair and a disabled vehicle to get to the bakery. She succumbed to pneumonia problems, a prevalent killer of amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, all sufferers. When she passed away, Buddy said he felt a mixture of sadness and relief because she had been sick for so long. When Buddy began to appear leaner in 2018, it astonished everyone. Buddy stressed his improved state of health, noting that he wanted to feel better about himself, not merely look nice, was his driving force. He said he did it for himself, always being content with his body regardless of its weight, and that decreasing weight made him feel and look better. The show returned after a 2-year hiatus, however it aired on a new network. Cake Boss's 9th season premiered on Discovery Family in 2019, a lesser-known network in comparison to TLC. As before, the season followed Buddy and his squad, but this time around the show catered to a younger demographic. Buddy had appearances on Cake Boss Moving, Buddy vs. Duff and Buddy vs. Christmas, among other Food Network episodes. Buddy severely injured his hand in a bowling accident the following year. Asking, "How do you like my new arm accessory?" he posted a photo from the hospital following surgery, showing himself in a complete cast. A representative for Buddy stated that the bowling machine malfunction was the root cause of the disaster. His hand became trapped and pierced by a metal rod as he attempted to remove a pin. Joey Fagno, his brother-in-law, and a fireman and emergency medical technician hurried over to help, but they had to get Buddy out of the machine using a saw. According to Buddy, the terrifying event occurred as the rod swung back and forth and blood was seen. He was worried he would never be able to bake again after injuring his hand and nerves. He said his grip strength was significantly lower than previously. Recovering from nerve injury, he said in an interview, was a game of waiting. He stated, "We'll see what happens," after describing his fingers as cold and rigid. In order to remove the rod and treat Buddy's wound, a bone specialist performed a second operation. They estimated a 9-month to 1-year healing period due to the extensive nerve reconnections. As my friend Buddy mentioned, I rely heavily on my hands. I am agitated about even a minor cut. To me, they are paramount. I don't know if I'll ever get back to where I was. The 2020 accident left him with a damaged hand that required multiple surgeries to repair. He began to feel considerably better by April, the month of his 6th surgery. He praised the operation as a huge success and claimed he felt more like himself on Rachel Ray's show. "A lot more dexterity in my hand movement has been restored," he said. "I have reclaimed around 75% of my strength and I am able to straighten all of my fingers and form a tight fist." He continued with physical therapy to increase the strength in his hand, despite his progress. A footage shows him going back to Carlo's bakery, where he has trouble icing and cutting a cake. Despite the sadness, his supporters found motivation in seeing him make progress toward getting back to normal. The COVID-19 epidemic was at its height at this time as well. The financial repercussions of COVID-19 persisted even after he had healed from his horrific hand damage. Because of this, transitioning to life after a pandemic was even more challenging. "I was just home, gloom and eating after COVID," Buddy revealed. When it came to that, COVID was simply terrible. Prior to the COVID-19 outbreak, he had already closed numerous Carlos Bakery locations. Buddy left the Westfield Mall in Red Bank, NJ in the middle of 2018. New Jersey locations in Morristown and Ridgewood were likewise closed the following year. In 2020, Carlo's Bakery had a precipitous decline in sales of around 40% due to the pandemic. Several closures occurred as a result of the bakery's struggles. A Frisco Mall kiosk was the second to close after a Dallas business. Santa Monica moved to an online-only model by the end of 2023, whereas Philadelphia was hit hard by closures. Just 10 Carlo's bakeries remain in operation at this time. With the exception of 28 cake vending machines, the majority of which are located in Sin City. However, there are many who contend that the move away from brick-and-mortar storefronts and toward online purchasing and vending machines actually represented the brand's evolution, not its decline. After more than a decade on air, Cake Boss concluded its run in 2020. The TV team from Carlos Bake Shop, though, didn't disappear after that. Buddy began airing 2 new series on the AE cable network on November 11, 2023. On Cake Dynasty, his children help out around the restaurant, and on Legends of the Fork, they dine at establishments all throughout the nation. The new series follows Buddy and his family as they oversee the growth of their business, which has expanded beyond their original store. Additionally, they maintain ties to their roots by operating the old cake shop. Buddy has always placed a premium on family. At the tender age of 17, he succeeded to the family business after his father died. He values his family beyond all else. He credits his family, especially his wife Lisa and children, with being there for him since his injury. His wife has been fantastic, he said, and he went on to claim that they have grown closer to each other since the disaster. She's done an admirable job. They've been a couple for nearly 2 decades, and he believes that their relationship has only become stronger since his injury. When thinking about television history, Cake Boss is a must-see. Showing how Buddy Valastro and Carlos Bakery came to be. The show highlighted the complex process of cake creation and the perseverance, imagination, and hard work needed to manage a bakery. The world of confections has been forever changed by the program, thanks to its outstanding cake creations and beautiful family experiences. The tale of Buddy, and by extension Cake Boss, is one of enthusiasm and tenacity in the face of insurmountable personal and professional obstacles.